Hey everyone, I'm Lori Keating and this is KidLit Meet and Greet. I'm here with Christine Alemshah, a soon to be published author, and she's also co-host of Midweek Critique and creator of Grow Your Writing. You wear many hats, Christine.
I do.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me, Lori.
Yes, of course. So can you tell us a little bit about you?
Sure. I am I'm now a full-time author. I used to work in the childcare industry before having my babies. So I used to be a childcare site director for 12 years. And now I am fortunate enough that I'm at home taking care of my kids and working on my writing full-time. So
That's exciting. Which you have am I right saying a 7 book deal that you got?
yes, I got a seven
Okay.
book deal. It
So
was
that's definitely going to
um,
keep you busy.
it's gonna keep me busy. Yes, very exciting. So I'm sure you want to hear about how that all came about.
Yes.
So I pitched a single book at as an event in 2022 called API Pit on which is now X, but Twitter, and that is a pitch event for Asian and Pacific Islander writers and illustrators. So I pitched in May of 2022 that year, and I pitched one book. And then I received a response in October that they wanted to take that one book to acquisitions. And so I remember very clearly, I heard back in December as I was walking my daughter out. We were getting ready to go on Christmas break for 3 weeks. And they messaged me back and said they loved it. And they said, however, we were not interested in a standalone book. We would like you to develop it out into a series. So then they wanted me to get them a proposal back in about a month. I had like a month turnaround time. And I was scrambling at the time because I told myself, okay, well, now I have my kids at home for 3 weeks, and like my job was going to pivot and be, in charge of them for 3 weeks. And of course, my immediate response was, yes, I'll do it. And then I was like, I'll figure out later how I'm going to do it. So then I put together the proposal. I pretty much stayed up at night because, I was with my kids during the day. I was so grateful that I had all my story storm ideas from years past. So I could go through those and say, which of these would work for this series? I tweaked a couple of other manuscripts. I already had a pretty a repertoire of stories. And I thought, oh, I wonder if this one would work. One of them was like a concept book, and I took the concept book and turned it into a character-driven story versus a concept book. And so I sent them back the proposal that they asked me to send them back. I believe they wanted I sent them one, and they wanted 2 additional stories and 3 additional summaries. So of course I decided, well, I'm going to send them 7. And they accepted all 7. So,
That's
which was
amazing.
yeah.
Oh
So
my goodness. Were you just like thrilled?
it was amazing. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
I bet. That's so exciting. I can't even imagine that feeling.
yeah.
So what is it like? Your agent is Vicky from the Purcell agency, is that
Yeah.
right?
Her name is Vicky Weber. She's with the Purcell agency, and I really enjoy working with her. We have very similar backgrounds. We're both from mixed heritage backgrounds. We both love music. I'm a classically trained vocalist, and she is an elementary school music teacher. And so we have very similar aesthetics and similar things that we're drawn to.
Oh,
So I just knew that when I queried her that we would have a lot in common, and that she's really great about championing my work. I tend to uh, write, like I have ideas for stories that are sort of out of the box. For instance, one of the stories that I pitched for the project was, I said, okay, I'm going to write a story that is mirrored with 2 narrators in an epistolary style where there's letters written back and forth. And I had never done that before. But I said, okay, I'm going to do this. And so I'll throw something at her that's completely out of the box, and then she'll come back at me and say, hey, this is great. Yeah, let's do this. So I really appreciate that she gets my vision, and she champions my work. And she's the agency itself is wonderful to work with. Tina Schwartz, who is their founded the agency. she, reaches out to me all the time. They have retreats for the agents or for the clients, their clients and stuff. So it's really great environment.
Wow, sounds like a great relationship. Yeah,
Yeah.
great deal. So when you talked about your ideas, I know you mentioned Story Storm, but where do your ideas come from?
Uh, well, they pretty much come from almost anywhere, from my day-to-day experiences, from my childhood. This series itself is a mixture of my own childhood family experiences and then my children's family experiences. Growing up, they're also biracial. So their experiences growing up, and I sort of merged that all into the main character. And so she has her own life, but that's where she was inspired from. And I actually have so many ideas that I have to come up with this system where I don't put ideas into my file anymore, because I actually took a Storyteller Academy webinar with agent Miranda Paul, and she shared a scale that you can assess, this was on writing nonfiction, and she shared a scale about what you should think about before pursuing a story. And I do a little bit of a similar system when I'm thinking of putting an idea into my file. And I think about, how passionate am I? And there's all different criteria on ideas. And then if it passes all of my tests, then I put it into my file, just because I know that I don't have the bandwidth to write everything. So that's how they make it in the file.
Yeah. That sounds like a great system. Good for you for coming up with that. You're gonna have to share that out with everyone. Okay, so when you write, do you have to have a certain environment? Do you need quiet? Do you can you write in chaos? What is your environment like?
I used to have to write in quiet before kids, but I had to shift. And now I write in what's called pockets. If I have 5 minutes there, 10 minutes there, that's when I write. And it may not be quiet. I might be sitting at the gym where my daughters are working out, and there's like 50 other kids working out, and I just sort of have to get into a zone and say, okay, I'm writing right now. And I do that. What's really helped me is to sync all of my devices. So I have my phone, my computer, my iPad, like everything is all synced. So then I don't have to worry about losing anything across all the devices. So if I write on my phone and then I come back to my computer later, it's all synced. So
that's smart. Okay, so when you write, do you lean towards a certain genre when you write, or
I was a psychology major in college, and I didn't even really realize it until I started having a body of work, but I tend to lean towards SEL, social emotional learning, musical, anything musical, and lyrical are probably the biggest things.
That sounds so fun, and I am a huge fan of SEL books. I love them. um, okay, so what is the most helpful to you in getting your stories like submission ready to your agent?
Let's see. Well, there's been a combination of things over the years. The first thing I did was join SCBWI, and I was actually an inaugural member of 12 by 12 in 2012. I remember back in the day, they had these buttons that you could wear, and whenever you would go to a conference, you would see other people wearing the 12 by 12 buttons. So that was really fun.
Fun.
I've been a member of 3 critique groups. My original SCBWI critique group was the in-person group that I met with. And then as the years progressed, I joined 2 other critique groups that are all over the country, and we meet on Zoom. So those have been extremely helpful. And then also I had a mentorship with Rosie Jakova. And that is probably the thing that I feel like helped when I was at that point where I was almost there and I was getting champagne rejections, and I kept asking myself that question. I'm like, what is it? I mean, like, how can I just get over to the other side? Because I'm so close. So I feel like that was really what helped me, having a mentor helped me to get over that hump, pitch wise, query wise, submission wise, and, even just gaining the confidence to put myself out there. So that really helped a lot.
That's great. Okay, so do you have a big dream as a writer?
I actually did have
Okay.
a big dream, and then I've actually had to pivot and make a new dream because my dream is actually coming through true. So
Oh,
my dream, and I told myself in 2021, I've been writing for a long time. But in 2021, I told myself my dream is that in the next few years, I want to walk into a library and I want to see my initials, ALE, on the spines of 3 to 5 picture books. So now that I have this book deal, I'm like, oh,
that's
this
gonna
dream
happen.
is actually coming true. So then I decided for the next dream that I'm like, okay, I'm going to dream bigger this time.
Always.
So I've created a vision board for myself. There's a new book that I've written that is lyrical and musical, and it's called Our World is a Song. And I mean, I'm not an artist, but I've placed what I call like an image of it on a vision board with other books that I feel like, okay, one day I would like to see my book featured with these other books, like, All the World and Stars by Marilyn Ray, and books by Patsy LaMiller, and then my book right there sitting with all these other books. So it's
Aw,
my next dream. Yeah.
that's a beautiful dream. And it sounds like it'll come true too. Like you're
Yeah.
so what are you reading anything in particular these days? I know stacks of picture books, I'm
Oh
sure.
yeah. Definitely snacks to picture books. I'm constantly reading picture books. The picture book that I read and loved this week is called One Small Thing, by Marsha Diane Arnold and Laura Watkins. And I remember this one, I chatted with the editor at Beaming Books a few years ago because I had won one of those Ask Me Anything prizes. And I asked her, well, what are you working on that you're excited about? And she told me about this book. She said, oh, this book is coming out, One Small Thing. And it's a really beautiful book. So
Oh, it sounds lovely. I'll have to check it out.
and then as far as I love audiobooks. So I've been listening to the Jane Austen collection, and I'm also listening to Pretties by Scott Westerfeld.
Nice. Okay, so besides your 7 books, are you working on anything exciting, any new project that you want to share? Can give us a little insight?
Sure, I gave you a little hint on the picture book I'm working on, called Our World is a Song. And so that's what I'm excited about going out on submission this year. It's not out on submission yet, but hopefully this year. And I have a couple of other stories out on submission, and 2 picture books that I'm excited about. One is about moving, like a little bit like a comp would be like Evelyn Del Rey's Moving Away. So that would be a comp for that one. Um, and I am working on a nonfiction short story collection, for a picture book short story collection, which of course that's another one of my projects that's different. It's not something you would normally see. So I tend to do that. I tend to write things that are different. And I'm actually inspired by you, Lori, because I know that you do both YA and picture books. And for some reason, I had always felt like I can't do both at the same time, but I'm like,
Yes.
well, Lori's doing it, so I can do it too. So I've started this year working simultaneously on my picture books and a YA speculative fiction novel. And I started that in 2021, and it's called Solar Skies.
That's exciting. Wow. Gosh, you do so much. Okay, do you want to share with us anything about like, your grow your writing or your new picture books that are coming out in 2025, right? Is that correct? Okay.
Yes. So the picture book series coming out in 2025 is entitled From Faye with Love. I don't think I can give away too much about it just yet. But it's all in the works, and
Okay.
I'm working on the edits for book 2. We finished edits for book 1. We have some news to share in a few weeks, but I can't share it yet.
Okay.
All exciting. And the Grow Your Writing Challenge is, it's all on my webpage. I really wanted to make something that, as you know, we were chatting before we started our talk about how new writers often feel a bit lost,
Sure.
and it's really hard to navigate the waters. And I wanted to create something where authors that are whatever point they are in their journey, if you're a beginning author, you can go there and you can find resources to get you started. But if you're a seasoned creator, there's a lot of waiting. Like we sit around and we wait a lot. So it gives inspiration for writers and, hey, what can I do while I'm waiting? How can I grow my writing in the meantime while I wait for responses? So I wanted to create resources for any writer at any stage. So.
That's so exciting. Okay, well, can you tell everyone where they, oh, wait, well, we have fun questions. That's right. We're not done yet. We have fun questions. Okay, so what are some things that you can't live without and why?
Well, I count my blessings every day for my husband and my children. That they really are, my why, and count my blessings every day.
Yes, I can totally relate to that. That's my why as well. Okay, so if you could be any animal, what would you choose and why?
Let's see. I'd probably be a dolphin or a sea
Oh,
turtle, maybe, because I was born in Honolulu, Hawaii, and I can't imagine my life very far away from the ocean. I need to know that it's somewhere. Like I live in Southern California, so I know that if I drive 20 minutes, I can be at the ocean.
yes.
And I don't know what I would do if I wasn't. So
Yes,
that's
I know.
I feel very free as a dolphin or a sea turtle.
Yes, I'm in agreement with you there. I live in Florida now, but I was landlocked in Arkansas for many years, and every year I just had to go to the beach. It's just
Yes.
my happy place. So I love being close to it, and I don't ever want to be far away from it again.
I totally get that feeling.
Okay, so if you could be friends with any character in a book, who would you choose and why?
See, this one was tricky. I kept looking through everything, but I think, as a child, I think I told you about the story I have out on submission right now about moving. I was a Navy child, and so I moved every few years, and so I was constantly in a place where I was making new friends, and it was really hard because I was introverted and shy. So my favorite friends were in the library. They were in my favorite books. So anytime I would go to a new school, I would go to a library and I would find these books, and they would be my familiar friends and things. And so I was really drawn to Little Women, and I wanted to meet the March sisters. And I always loved Jo March and Amy March, and I
Oh,
wanted to be part of their little group.
that's wonderful. Well, oh my goodness, it was so great to meet you, Christine. I know we've worked together on midweek critique, and but I just seeing you in person and meeting you, this has been so fun. So thank you for doing this interview with me. Can you tell everyone where they can find you on your socials and your website? And
Sure. You can find me online at christinealemshah.com. And then on X and Instagram, I'm at C_Alemshah, and that's how you find me there. I'm also on Blue Sky a little bit. I'm trying to learn it. But that's just my first and last name, Christine Alemshah at Blue Ski Social.
okay. Wonderful. Well, again, thank you so much. This was wonderful, and we will definitely be seeing you on your socials and following your amazing news that you are about to share. So thank you so much.
I'm excited to do that.
Okay.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. We'll talk soon.
Okay, thanks.
Bye.